quickly, we're going to do this quickly, and then...
Thank
yes,
you, sir.
Go ahead.
Good afternoon, sir. Thank you so very much for this, sir. We have many. We actually asked people to submit their questions online, so we have very many, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Okay, so I'd like to ask this one because it actually has to do with the whole talk, so that may just, yes. What do you do if all three factors of an effective marriage are no longer present? All three no longer present. Should I read? That's the person's question, but we have a lot more, sir.
No, this one is a very serious question. It's a
yes,
short
sir.
question, but it's very more. So, if there is no more communication, there's no more sex, there's no more money relationship, there's no more love, there's nothing left. So please, I would say that a couple is in this situation should know that their marriage is already at an ICU level. It's already it should be at an intensive. They are not supposed to be around town. When your blood pressure hits this kind of level, when you have dealing with this kind of situation, vital organs have heart is not working, kidneys fail, and you are still you want to go to Maitama. No, you are taken to an ICU. So I will encourage that such a couple should please immediately look for your pastor, a coach, a mentor, a therapist. Look for somebody immediately, because there's nothing left. That marriage just waiting for time for exit to happen. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Another question. What are effective strategies a wife can use to boost her husband's self-esteem and sexual confidence when he's hesitant to initiate intimacy? And I would like to link it up with another one that is very similar. The person said, is it a problem if it is me as a wife that always approaches sex first? My husband seldom does. I do it 60%, my husband 40%.
Yes. Thank you so much. Yes, sorry, just hold on with the flyers, ma'am. You can just be at the door there. Now, when it comes to initiation of sex, there's something I want to quickly say at this point in time. Based on the religious background, the upbringing, the exposure of certain individuals, it has a way of affecting how they express themselves. By no means does that mean that they don't have the desire. It's just that sometimes the way some people grew up, the kind of things they've heard, the teachings they've received. Don't forget that we are all a product of our beliefs. Is that okay? Beliefs undergirds values, values undergird actions, and actions undergird behaviors. So what normally happens is that, for instance, if a man has been told that, look, if you go often to your wife, she will take you for granted. Such kind of a belief. If a man has it, the man wants to stay as a king. Let your wife come and look for you. Are you getting that kind of a thing? So there are perceptions that governs certain actions. So the first thing we want to do is to be able to ascertain what exactly is the reason why this man is behaving the way he's behaving. So I would suggest first that the woman, if possible with your husband, need to sit down with someone who can properly counsel you people. It's in the process of counseling we'll be able to determine whether, first, it's a belief-induced behavior, meaning it is as a result of things that he has come to believe, tradition, culture, religion, things that he has accepted that guides him. So that man will have to unlearn, relearn. Is that okay? Otherwise, we may have a situation whereby for some reasons he may have dealt with some case of rejection. Maybe growing up, he had approached a lady at a very tender age in his life, at a very significant moment, and what the lady did to him traumatized him so much so that he's not been able to recover from that situation of rejection. So from that moment, anytime he wants to approach another woman, there's a conscious fear that there's going to be rejection again. So you have a situation where that could also predispose the man to wanting to be very careful. The other part of it is that it may have been a situation whereby early in the marriage, the man was bold enough to make a move and the woman rejected him. And so the man withdrew, and from that moment to come back again, it's a problem. There are some men like that. Coming back is not always easy for them. They always assume that it's going to happen again. There are other remote reasons. Personality-wise, it can be altered. If it is a personality issue, that can be altered. There are other wide array of issues that could make the man to be doing that. The most important thing is to have time to converse with the person. Don't judge him. And by the way, woman, let me say that keep on doing what you are doing. If you are the one in position to keep initiating until it catches up. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
So I have these from one person. My love language is physical touch and quality time. My husband struggles in this area. For example, I love holding hands and kissing, but he doesn't. He emphatically told me he doesn't like this. I struggle to believe he loves me. This has been my struggle. I find it difficult to believe he loves me. She's emphasizing it. What better way can I handle this? 2, my husband makes the money. I have not really been financially okay since I left my last job. He does the spending and caters for the house. I don't really know how and what he makes. I feel left out even though he tries his best. And then the third question, I love to send messages to my husband whenever we have issues, because most times we talk, sometimes we end up not resolving. But he doesn't like me sending him messages. In fact, he told me he doesn't read them but deletes them. What should I do? There
is a communication problem in this marriage. There is a communication problem. And it is very obvious to me that the man is dealing with some kind of issues personally that is making him react to his wife in the way the man is reacting to his wife. If you're the one and you are here and you're a man and you just heard that, please, sir, it is not right. It is wrong for you to be in a marriage where there is no open communication. Like you can see from what I've shared with us here today, you can't have a healthy marriage where there is no open communication. You can't. It's not just going to be possible. So what I would suggest to the man is, please, take yourself and your wife, if need be, find a way. There are some people you can meet here who will be of help to you. And if you want to see me, find time to see me. But it is wrong for you, sir, to shut doors of communication. To have a wife in a house that can't express herself, can't talk with you, fears talking with you. Have a situation where every time you get to talk with one another, it ends up inconclusive. We can't reach a decision. Because somebody will always turn the conversation into a battle zone. It's just not healthy. You must, and part of the key to making sure that we don't continue like that is to practice what I just shared with you. What are the 3 things that I said you must practice? You do what? You listen, shut your mouth up, keep quiet, take a note, right? Listen to what she has to say to the end, all right? And number 2, then you can speak. And by the way, when you want to speak after she has finished talking, you don't just start by saying, I heard everything you said, but I just want to tell you my own. No, that's not how to talk. When you want to talk, the first thing you start with is, I heard you say. Repeat what she said that you wrote down. That's how I begin my conversation with my wife. I heard you said this, and I want to say, however, that there's a point that I differ with. When you said, I came with wings. They were not wings. They were actually clothes that were extended. I think in your mind, because you are used to birds, so you thought I came with wings. I actually came with clothes. That's the only thing I want to say. That was not real. Is that okay? All right. So, but it's important to listen. And if you listen and you take note, it will minimize some of the things we're talking about. And then when you speak, don't speak to attack the person. Address the issue. Separate between the person and the issue. Very critical. So I think for me, we need to sit down with him. It's unfair to be married to a woman and you can't let her express herself. The same thing goes to you as a woman. It is just unwise for you to talk and not let your partner talk. Absolutely unwise. Is that okay? And then in terms of touch, she likes to be touched, right? But the husband said outrightly he doesn't want to be touched. Again, sir, there are too many things around this man that I think we really need time with. Because no man forbids physical touch. It is one of the things that we need as men. We are visually stimulated and physically stimulated. So for a man who should be physically stimulated by touch, to be avoiding touch, somebody touched him wrongly when he was growing up. Something went wrong when he was growing up. So her touch it's not her touch that is offending him. It's the fact that it triggers memories. And if it is not that, then we need to attend to the reason why. There's a remote reason for that kind of behavior. So I will say to her, madam, if you are the one that wrote this thing, please don't transfer it to love. I know it naturally feels so. It's not that he doesn't love you. Is that okay? It might just be that we're dealing with a man who is dealing with trauma. And until we deal with the trauma surrounding his love expression, it's difficult for us to judge his love expression. So let's deal with the trauma. Once we're able to deal with trauma, then we can now say, okay, maybe he's truly not loving or loving. So there's some work to do with this man. And I hope that the man is listening and willing to give a chance without pride for help. We'll be more than willing if there's any help we can render. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Maybe I'll take, so that we take, anybody with a live question here? Any live question? Okay. No, right here.
Thank you so much, Dad.
Yes, you're welcome.
You just touched one of the points I wanted to ask.
Yeah.
When you were concluding, you spoke about mental health, healing and all.
Yes.
I think maybe there should be a session where you can talk more on sex and healing. I think for everyone, everybody wants a beautiful, healthy, happy sex life, but some people are dealing with a bagload of trauma. So it affects,
Absolutely.
you know, how the delivery is. Now, so my question goes, you know, you've spoken about it anyways, but just to say, so when you have a reverse role for the oral sex, and you, in quote, you've been the giver of the sex, the oral sex to your husband, and now you feel it should be reciprocated. But in as much as it can be given, but there's still this mental barrier where you feel like someone's going to hurt you, you'll be viewed as promiscuous, as, you know, so what do you do? How do you make yourself vulnerable and again be healed enough to let it seamless, not putting any rigidity on it?
Are you talking about the receiver or the giver?
The receiver now.
Okay. The receiver has been the giver.
The receiver has been the giver.
And now the receiver,
wants to be given.
Yeah.
But
there's
the person
fear.
yes, there's a fear. And it's already a barrier.
Thank you so much. Now, again, don't forget that the barrier is perceived. It's not actual because it's not been attempted. All right? It's only in a situation whereby I, who have been the one given, and I approach you and I say, sweetheart, can you give also to me? All right? If at that moment you say, oh, sorry, God forbid, I can't try that kind of rubbish, you know, then at that moment it sends a bad message to me. Okay? I won't try to ask you for that again because I already see the way you react towards that issue. But when we're dealing with a situation whereby you've not even asked me whether I can give it to you back, all right? You've not asked. But because of your own past experience, okay, you are afraid to ask because you are assuming I may be viewed as promiscuous. Now, don't forget that the person who received it comfortably. Now, how is the person going to view me as promiscuous when I say, okay, do it for me too? All right? And sometimes the wisest thing to do, ma'am, is when you are in the act, when the man is finding pleasure or the woman is finding pleasure, sometimes that's the best time in the midst of pleasure. That's a time to quickly, rather than have an organized approach where I say, sweetheart, tonight, can you give me? So sometimes the best, particularly when you're doing it for the man, is finding pleasure in what you are doing. At that moment, you want to say, okay, so can you try that with me too? Me too, I want to feel it. I want to feel what you're feeling. You see, at that moment, it's almost like when I'm giving you, I also want to experience myself. So it's not going to create room for that kind of feeling. Again, I think it's about how we present some of the things that we present. So I would say, avoid dealing with all the assumptions of what the person will think or say. Why don't you give a try? And be creative in giving the try. Does that make sense now? The timing, again, don't forget we talked about Tamar, yeah? We said the way she was able to get Jacob was she observed the principle of what? Timing. So timing is very critical. particularly those of us, when you're having intercourse with a man, I'm sure you know that it's normally during intercourse with men that women who are prostitutes gets men to sign lands, to sign checks. How do they get them to sign check? When the man is already like, women know when women, you know that when a man is almost like hitting ejaculation. Am I correct? At that moment, that's when the woman say, hold on. And you know, if there's anything a man does not want to hear in this world, is hold on when he's already about to hold out. And so at that moment, wise women know what to do. Sorry, hold on. Well, can you do me this? Can you do me that? At that moment, he's ready to do anything because he wants to go back to what. There's something in the way the man's brain works. Whatever I started, I must. So you can break the flow and get him to do for you whatever you want him to do. You want him to lie down, tell him, oh yeah, God. That's when you see women are making match, man, oh yeah, God, run, oh yeah, jump. Yeah. Where's the woman? Okay, get ready, man. You want to sit down? Yeah. Okay, give to him, sir.
Yeah. Good afternoon, church.
You're welcome, sir.
I really appreciate you, Daddy, for this insight. I feel what I want to say is that the world has changed so fast, and the three dimension you give about marriage, communication, love, and sex. And for men, because I could have other friends which we talked about and so on, I think most men love language now is to provide. We don't pay more attention to how to communicate with our wife. We just feel that, okay, once we drop the money, once we drop the cars, once we drop the house, once we give them the allowance, they don't have any right to disturb us or something. So I come to understand, because I came from a military background, a barrack boy too. So I saw my dad did that. Despite he has a lot of children, but I saw my dad work so hard, and I could also witness trauma in the marriage with my mom, because he might be in another state and my mom would be in another state, and we don't lack anything. We are barrack children, but it was so much provision. So I also carry that mindset that, man, I don't so much believe in romance. Why just give you stuff and get out of the house and everything. So, but I found out that my wife, my beautiful wife, yeah, amazing.
Yeah.
I noticed my wife, we were having issues about that before. So one day I asked her, what do you want, madam?
Fantastic.
I killed myself for you. I go to work times. And so what do you want? That's what most people want this time. So it's beyond, I've come to understand lately that is beyond all that. The communication aspect, I've learned that, because I'm not a talker, I'm a action. I just do the thing like this, I'm gone.
My God.
For the other aspect, I will say we'll try our best. God is helping us. Because I like, I'm always this kind of person that I have to survive, this surviving mindset.
Yeah.
So I've really gotten a lot, but I just wanted to put more about money. Why do men pay more attention than money, and they feel that they solve all those three dimensions all those two dimensions does not matter? Thank you.
Thank you so much. Is that something we want to appreciate him for? Sir, traditionally, our problem is that, particularly, sir, your generation, my generation, your generation, we are children of traditionalists. So we are conformists. We are conformists. We come from traditionalists, okay? So those who were born in the 40s, 50s, 30s, my father was born 1936, April 18th. So my father was born. So my father is a thoroughbred from the traditionalist perspective. If our builders, and so we have from traditionalists, we have the builders, and then the builders we came into Generation X. Most of those who are born late 60s and into the 70s, and then you have the millennials come and all of that. So here's where the problem lies. We were trained. And look, the job of a man, as a man, you should be able to provide for your family. My father never called me one day and said, sorry, there's a way, my son, come close. How many men here would tell you, let me ask that question. I do it everywhere I go to, sir. And you'll be shocked the number. How many men here, your father sat you down and your father taught you how to relate with a woman? Your father coached you, told you how to love a woman, how to provide for a woman, how to have sex with a woman. Your father trained you how to communicate. Your father told you how women behave, how to manage them, their attitude, their behavior. Raise your father sat you there. You will teach us what he taught you. Raise your hand. Your father taught you. Women, can you see what we're talking about? This is what I get everywhere. I've never been in any meeting, sir. We have seen 10% of men. This is the disaster we're talking about. So all of us came into marriage with what template? And these women followed us thinking we know. Not knowing you are following nothing. It's a problem. So where do we get information from? Bush bar with our friends. Oh boy, what do we do with these women? And the guy will tell you based on whatever he knows. Dysfunctionality keep breeding dysfunctionality. It's a problem we have. And the reason I do this is so that the women here will get to understand that, look, my husband is not exceptional. We all grew up not being taught. We were sent to school to spend 4 years to become graduates from the university so that we can pursue lifetime career. But we were not sent anywhere. We've not sat with anyone to prepare us for our lifetime institution called marriage. Nothing. We don't know what to do. We just do what we think is right. So when the man is under pressure, he has tried all he can do to handle the woman, he doesn't know what else to do. The man is frustrated, he's stuck. So when you see a man beating, he doesn't know what else to do. He doesn't know what else to do. So, sir, it's the traditional background we have. We're told that our job is to provide for women. Is that okay, sir? So we all hit the street and we go provide, and then we bring home, like Pastor Mary here. I want to buy her shoe. Snake skin. Ash color with black. Powerful snake skin. Real leather stuff. Real skin. Bought it for her. And I drop it inside the house on top of the table. She was cooking in the kitchen. And me, with all the movies I've watched. I watch Indian film a lot. Shani man. Shani kaman. Shani man. And you know those Indian women that we see in movie? We didn't know it was film. Where the man give them shoe like that. So I was expecting, my mind. I was like, if she's, so I kept it. So I was expecting, in my mind, I've already calculated. When she was like, oh my God. I didn't know I was dealing with a worry woman. Barack woman to the core. Just can't you know they moved them. I thought I was dealing with maybe Ikoyi, all these New York girls, all those London girls. Even London said, be careful, no, don't go to Peckham area. Just, so I was expecting my wife was just going to come and see the shoe. And she would like, oh my God, wonderful. And she would just go on her knees. So I was imagining her from she would start kissing me from my leg up. Sir, my wife just came. I said, baby, come. She now came and she saw the shoe. She said, thank you. I'm telling you this before God. She just looked at it. She said, thank you. And she went back to the kitchen. Should I hit my head on the wall? I said, God, this is how my dream is over. My expectation had just been cut short too. And she went like that. Nothing. So that led me into research. It was that research that led me into gender dialect. It was in the course of, because in the early days I made a decision, rather than react to my wife, I will research. So every case was a case for research. So I began to research, why do women behave like this? Then I stumbled on that teaching on gender dialect. Every gender has a dialect they speak. In order to connect with that gender, learn to speak in the dialect of that gender. And I said, so what could be my wife's dialect? Then love language had not come out. And then I got to realize that I should have entered the kitchen when she was cooking and say, oh, how are you, sweetheart? How's everything going on? Is there anything I can help you to do in the kitchen? Maybe even pick an okra, cut something small. She doesn't need me to take over. She needs me to identify. No, but my father, nobody told me. I didn't know. I didn't know. That's how my marriage will have ended in trouble. My ignorance will have led to my reaction. My reaction will have ended my marriage. But thank God I found that stuff. So you know what I do from that moment? I get involved in house issues. I still do till today, sir. Sometimes I finish it in my wife. Oh, she said, don't bother carrying the plate. I say, for who? Who am I leaving it for? So I carry the plates myself to the kitchen. I wash them. She dropped her things by the staircase. I carry them up. She dropped them because she know I'll carry them. She has the house boy in the house. She's comfortable. She knows that that boy will do his work. You get what I'm saying, sir? And she makes her happy that I'm identified. We know why? Her love language is act of service. Don't come and waste your time around my baby. You know you are so beautiful. Your eyes look like that of a dove. Your tongue is like that of a... If I don't leave early, if my wife slap you. She's not trip. You know why? She grew up in the midst of people who said many things they don't mean. So my wife's definition of friendship is different, very deep. I have never in my life met anybody with a deep perspective to friendship like my wife. The day my wife defined who a friend is to me. And if my wife calls herself your friend, sir, you can take it to the bank. She would die for you. My wife's definition of a friend on a different level. Because her exposure got her to meet people who say this, they never mean what they say. So she's not impressed with words. Because what she did not see are people who modeled what they said. So my wife is not the type that will respect me because I'm her husband or I'm Reverend Sam. So the only reason my wife respects me is because I command that respect. So not because I'm a husband though. Not because I am Reverend Sam. So I command my wife's respect, and I know I do. So because I deserve it. I have never given a reason to look at me and disrespect me. And I will never do that. Never. You understand that? My wife is the type that will look at her father, straight to my father's face, and say, Baba, you just lied. The father knows her. In fact, the only thing he told her when she was going to marry, he said, look, don't undo me like you undo, don't undo him like you undo me. She would tell her father to his face. So my wife is not the type that will look at you and say, because you are in you. That one thing my wife, I can tell about, she fears nobody. You can't wear uniform and threaten my wife. You are a policeman. You stop. Dan can tell you. We're heading to the airport. Were you there with us? It was Dan that was. Where's Dan? We're heading to the airport. Policemen were trying to misbehave on the road. My wife was going to, I said, sweetheart, my wife will confront. Who are you? So it's very critical for us as men to make sure that we don't just focus on providing what? By the way, what do you do? Look at the marriages we're looking at. Lawyer, 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 lawyer. There's another one here, lawyer. Okay? And there are some of us here, you are business owners, your husbands are working class people, you make more money than your husband. Am I correct? There are people who are making, there's a small girl in our church who makes as much as $3,000, $4,000, $5,000. Tell me, where will our husband get that kind of income from per month? So somebody is going to marry that girl. How do you call yourself husband, if money is the only thing you provide? So women are looking for more than this now. Women are looking for more than man who can provide money. You should provide money, but women are looking for more than this. They are looking for a man who can also what? Communicate. A man who can also sexual intimacy, everything around it. Communication, intimacy, caressing, romance, and the rest of that. So, sir, thank God for you who is committed to becoming better. Please, let's get better by adding these other things. They protect our love. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. I need to run out of
sent this. How do I show my partner that accountability is important in a marriage? 2, as a couple, I believe in having mentors that we can look up to and freely speak to, but my partner doesn't. How do I make him see it's important? 3, my partner finds it difficult to apologize. How do I help him? 4, how do you manage a partner whose first line of action is defense when there is disagreement?
Okay, so basically I think it's all about accountability and apology in this case. Accountability is very important. The first 3 questions, I think the first 2-3 questions were all around accountability. The first thing about marriage and accountability is this. Look at it this way. Every lake stinks. Most lakes stinks. Am I correct? Once a body of water does not have room for outlet and inflow, over time it's going to start stinking. Is that okay? So the same thing with a marriage that does not have room for the input of mentors, okay, and room for us to express to mentors how we feel about what's going on in our marriage. Over time, that marriage is going to implode. That marriage is going to have what to call internal failure, to fail internally, all right, because we don't want to talk to anybody outside. The reality is that we all are limited in our exposure, experience, education, and encounters. So it limits how much tools we have to fix marital problems. The best thing, therefore, is to make sure we have someone we are accountable to, someone we both agree that we're going to be accountable to, for the purposes of when we can't resolve issues among ourselves, we should be able to call the person and say, sir, we just want to come see you. Mommy, we want to come see you. We are having this challenge. Mommy, what will you advise us? If one of us is having a challenge with this, you don't necessarily need to point at each other and say, my husband. No, we can just come and say, sorry, we're having a challenge with communication. What will you advise where we're having this particular challenge? A little input from a mentor can shift your perspective and better your relationship. So accountability is very, very critical, not only to an outsider, but to also each other. Now, you are going out. It's just simple. Accountability starts with things like, hey, I'm going to the office and I'm going to be there until 6 o'clock. I'm leaving the office at 6 o'clock. Sweetheart, I'm already on my way home and I'm going to be branching another meeting. It's not that anybody is monitoring you, just for the sake of understanding movement. God forbid anything happens, how do we track you? Okay? So accountability is for preservation. Accountability is for personal preservation. It's not for control. It's not for manipulation. I think it's about the way people have seen accountability in the past, whereby people want to manipulate and control them, so they don't want to have any of such anymore. But please know that accountability is for your own good. And then in terms of apology, a partner that doesn't like to apologize, the reality is the partner may be apologizing. It's just that you don't know how the partner is apologizing. There are 5 apology languages. Okay, so apology is not just I am sorry. For instance, I don't like you telling me I'm sorry. If you've done something wrong, just tell me, Rev Sam, I know I did something wrong and I promise you I won't do it again. So for me, don't do it again. It's my apology language. Telling me you are sorry means nothing to me. Okay? So just make sure don't do that again. That's just it. Just don't do that again. So I don't need you to kneel down. I hate it in my family. If it makes me feel like you are demeaning human beings when you get there. I'm very, very sorry. No, just don't do it again. All right? So there are 5 apology languages. The likelihood is that the person you say is not saying sorry has been saying sorry. It's just that you don't know. Instead of saying it, the person may be showing it. For instance, there are some men that instead of telling you sorry, they know they have offended you. On their way home, they'll buy you drinks. They'll buy you gift. They'll buy you some stuff. Say, sorry, sweetheart, how are you? I bought you shawarma. But we left home in a quarrel. And you, your own, he must come and say sorry. Because that's your apology language. That's the way you understand sorry. Is that okay? We now need to do a study together as husband and wife on apology language, the way we did on love language, so that we know how I receive apology and how I give apology. So that I will tell my partner, anytime I offend you, if you see me do this, it is me telling you I am sorry. And then if you do something to me, this is how I want you to let me know that you are sorry. Just tell me you are sorry. Just tell me you will not do it again. I understand you are sorry. So many times when you say people are saying, they are not saying I'm sorry. They've been saying I'm sorry, it's just that you didn't know. Okay?
Thank
All
you,
right.
sir.
Yes, ma'am.
How do you handle issues with in-laws, especially when your spouse wants to remain neutral when issues arise? I love that my spouse is more supportive and help me understand how to relate with their parents better.
So you want your partner to help you relate with his or her own partner, with our own parents. All right. That is the responsibility of your spouse. The spouse must have in the first place introduced you before you got married to the family of your spouse. All right. It is obligatory on you. It is expected that you would have taken it from the moment you were introduced to start building relationship with them. For you to be in a marriage and you're expecting your husband to now broker relationship again between you and your spouse and his parents, what have you been doing all the while? So it is expected that from the beginning, before you even came into the marriage, you should have started building the bridge. It is, however, different where the family were where they objected to their son marrying you. In which case, for a long time, maybe after the marriage, they were still angry and all of that. In which case, as they began to soften, you now want to start relating with them. Now, your husband will have to do the job of introducing you back, and please proceed cautiously. Don't just go in and open up. Just go in gradually. As they show that they love you, you unfold. All right? Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
I think there's somebody who was raising a hand over there. Yes, ma'am. I think I'll just take two and allow us to go.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
So I would like to take us back very briefly to the issue of sex and communication.
Yes.
And I know many men are of the view that, when they ask, they should get. I want to speak on behalf of some of us women folk that it's not. Sometimes find out why you're getting a no when you're asking for sex. Sometimes it's not just that your wife is physically tired. There might be underlying tensions that are not resolved. And men sometimes, some of you, like to repair issues that require communication with sex. And it's not going to happen. If women, for most women, if you're not happy, it's not going to happen. So maybe sometimes instead of viewing it as she's just saying no, why don't you resolve that issue? And I'm sorry, sir. Receiving no when you want it is, you are not going to die. Yes, sir.
Eloma, come here. Well,
I'm sorry, sir, but
is that your husband by your side? Huh? Is that your husband?
Yes.
He has denied you. You say you are his friend. He said at this point too, you are now his friend. Okay, thank you so much.
Yes, sir. So there's that issue, and I think it's important to resolve that. On the issue of sex during menstrual period, I think it's a bit deeper and broader than that.
Yes.
And sometimes, no matter how comfortable you feel with some things, if your partner isn't comfortable,
yes,
I think it's fine to wait until the coast is clear, or until they come into that. Not when sex becomes, when someone wants it, you have to just give it. I think it takes away the mutuality in it, and it just becomes a service that you're rendering and a chore. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. All right, let's take it carefully. Madam, I want to take first the issue of, which is just a little flip that we need. You made a statement, and the answer to your question, to your conversation, is in the conversation itself. You said there's a conflict between us, right? And then you said some men like to repair the relationship with sex. But for you, you would like to resolve the matter first before we have sex. But for him, let's have sex and restore conversation. Look at it this way. I've shared here before something called talk, sex, talk. You've just highlighted two different people. There are people that when we have sex, dopamine must come down. Endorphins have come. We can now, it opens the door for conversation. Please, maturity sometimes requires that you don't insist on your way, both parties. For instance, as a man, if your wife says, let's come and talk, you won't say no until you give me sex. That's not matured. Talk, and then we end up having. But if we didn't have opportunity for communication before he came for sex, it is his own way of saying, can we get back to talking? But let's start with what? Sex. Whoever comes first to open the door for relationship to be restored, I think it is not wise to be insisting on it must be my own way of doing it. What you are saying reflects your preference. From what you are saying, I can tell that you will prefer we talk before we have sex. Fantastic. So you are a talk, sex person. You prefer sex to be in an environment where I'm talking with somebody, I'm having sex with someone that I'm having a free heart with. Okay? Now, what we are saying, however, is that if you go to 1 Corinthians 7, you get to discover the one you are talking about, the sex you are talking about, is where I'm having sex with pleasure. I'm doing it because I just want to do it. There are situations whereby sex is a duty. The sex duty is 1 Corinthians 7, 3 and 4, where the Bible says you do not have control over your own body. Your body belongs to your husband. They are not teaching us that anymore. Your body belongs to your husband. So the Bible says you've lost the right over your body. As much as your husband has lost the right over his body. Thank God the Bible puts both have lost the right. Because if it's only the woman that have lost the right over her body, then the man has the right to sleep with as many women as he can. Marry as many women as he can. The sad part for the man is that the Bible also said that he has lost right over his own body. Meaning my wife can single-handedly, this is where polygamy can work if you're a child of God. Because your wife has right over what, sir? Your body. So your wife will say, sorry, this body, nobody else shares it with me. The man too say, nobody shares this body with me. Okay? So what then happens is that when he needs his body, that's not the time as a wise woman. That's not the time to now start saying, but you know, we quarreled this morning. You want to touch me now? Don't touch me. My mind, I am still sad. It's not your mind you are giving, it's your body. Is that okay? So for now, he needs you, right? Please, this is a moment where emotional maturity comes in. What is emotional maturity? The ability to delay reaction. The ability to say, God, I'm not happy with what's going on with this, what this man did this morning. But Father, I'm a woman that is submissive. I have no control over my body. I give it to him. And here's what the Bible says. Whatever you do, Now here, you do it with all your might. This is where grace comes in. You see, this is where you're going to choose to either be a woman or a child of God. As a child of God, you're going to say, Father, I receive grace to honor him and to serve him. Because after all, the reason why I want us to talk is so that we can come back together. If this is how we will achieve it, does it matter how we get there? Must it be talking to relationship? If he's coming with sex, if it will get us back in terms, won't I do that? After all, this one is even going to be faster, because one thing about men is that once they have that sex, conversation will just continue as if nothing happened yesterday. But your own, I understand you like to win the argument. We need to go back. Now what I mean, you want to sit down, can we go back? You know, in the morning when you were going, you remember the way you look at me? That time when you said that thing, this really hurt me. So you want to hear I'm sorry, right? Which is, yeah, I know, I can feel it. I can, in fact, from where you are, I feel it. So don't forget, there's still a way to get that apology without having a formal meeting. Particularly after you had had sex. Oxytocin has come down, endorphins. You know how to say, look at what you've just done. You this guy. You just make me feel like a woman. You see, this is the way I want us to always be. But see what you did this morning now, when you were just talking and all of that. My friend, will you just apologize and tell me, otherwise tomorrow I'm going to close the door. You will not do anything in this house. And that's where you will hear I'm so. Is this all here? Men, am I speaking our minds? Madam, the Bible says by wisdom a woman builds her house. By wisdom. Everything is not aggression. Sitting a man down, if you're in a classroom in the morning, where you are going, you said this, and then we get into, no, I said this. And so in the end of the day, you know that kind of conversation, you are not guaranteed of what the outcome will be. Because a man can feel threatened, and just turn the whole matter into something else. But sex will always get the job done. And you will always get what you want. Oh yeah, my friend, see what you've just done. See this is the kind of husband I've been looking for. But see what you did this morning now, the way you were talking this morning. My friend, you owe me some money. You owe me some money and some apologies. And honestly, right now, you have to sign a check. Otherwise, tomorrow, I block the road. You not have. If you are not careful, I will even do another one now with you. See, there are ways. Isn't it funny, like I said, how do prostitutes keep the men coming back? Is it that the prostitutes are not offended? They get offended, but they have their eyes on the major mission. Is it that men don't abuse them when men sleep with them? One girl was telling me, she said, sir, she said, when I think of what I am taking, when men do to me for what I get, she said, but sir, my eyes are on the money. I endure for what is before me. You are not a prostitute. Your goal is bigger. It's your marriage. It's your family. So God will give us wisdom.
Thank you so much, sir.
Hallelujah. Today, now, wow. Okay. I'll take one more.
Okay, sir.
We can answer this question some other day. Thank you, ma.
Thank you, sir. I'm going to read one, but please, sir, permit me. Let me just enjoy the fact that I'm on my feet. There was a question I read out, and I was just thinking an aspect of it, the one regarding in-laws, where, for instance, it's that the relationship has begun right, husband, wife, in-laws approved, everything went well, but along the way, issues are arising, like strife, conflicts, and whatever with the in-laws, but the man is always neutral, because that's what the person was emphasizing.
Okay.
He doesn't wade in, he doesn't do anything to, solve issues.
Yeah.
So that's one aspect I'd love for you to speak about.
One of the major problems with that kind of situation is you want to check what is the position of the man. If the man amongst the siblings is, say, middle child or last child, it compromises that man's capacity to be able to talk to his own siblings who he considers to be older. All right, in an African community where you don't talk anyhow to your older siblings, the man wants to be very careful. All right, He's going to be highly diplomatic, trying to play games of, he doesn't want to offend his wife, he doesn't want to offend his family members. So position in family compromises his ability to exercise authority. Okay, don't forget he has authority over his own family, but not over his own extended family, over his marriage, but not over his own extended family. Number 2 reason why most men sometimes can't talk like that to their family members is because of the parenting style that raised them up. A man that grew up in a home that is highly authoritarian, where there are rules and regulation, no relationship, fears his mother, fears his father, such a man will never want to talk to his sibling because of the fear of his parents. Is that okay? He may have gotten married, but he has not yet broken away from the influence of the parents who are authoritarian. So I've seen men like that. They are scared of talking to their family members or their siblings because of the fact that there's always been this situation whereby we are afraid to talk in the family. All right. Number 3, you may have a situation whereby the husband is a benefactor. A situation whereby somebody amongst the siblings actually is the one that got him a job, is working for the person is the one that is a major stakeholder in his business. If they withdraw the money they are putting in that business, the business, how do you, because of your wife, now go and be talking to the person that is making, you are driving Rolls Royce around town. If this money leaves now, you are back to Uber. Is that okay? So when you think of that, you're going to find a way around it. And that neutrality, most time women who are alpha type, choleric women, who are action oriented, they want to see you do something. And they want you to do something that they will see and know that, my husband did something. You don't show them. The consequence is that she doesn't know that by showing them, all of you, the chair she's sitting on will fall. So sometimes the lack of knowledge of this situation, there are different dynamics. The other side of it is that the person is deeply religious. The person could likely be a deeply religious person who has taken gentleness, self-control, love, and patience to the extreme. So the person, they bid not to the fear of losing the fruit of the spirit, as if he's the one that grew it. The fear will make it difficult for him to protect his family. You understand that? So we have several factors that predisposes people to act in that way. Other cases might just be the fact that he's just a conflict averse person, doesn't like conflict. Okay, may just be the reason why. And then number 5, lastly, he might just be somebody who prefers to resolve conflict in a totally different way from the way the wife wants him to resolve the conflict. Okay, so but in all ways, by all means necessary, every man is expected to protect. That's the first line of assignment for every man who is married: protecting your wife from your family members, from your friends. If I fail in shielding my wife from my family members, I failed in my primary assignment. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. This is the very last on our list. Is long, but this is the last I'm reading, sir.
Amen.
Thank you, sir.
God bless you.
How does one deal with a husband that keeps malice with his wife at the slightest issue? Even keeps malice for a period of a month and more if the wife does not appeal to him for a settlement. Again, this husband is in most cases will not even tell the wife the reason for this malice. And maybe just to enlarge on this, I think I know of a situation where it has lasted for years, and then maybe over 30 years, and when eventually the man talks, he talks about things which it's even difficult to go back to resolve. What does the woman do here?
Yes, thank you so much, Ma. Women, everything that avoids communication is considered malice. Is that okay? In conflict resolution, there are different styles for conflict resolution. One of it is confrontation, right? And trust me, between confrontation and avoidance, which one do you think women are more drawn to? Say it loud and clear. Naturally speaking, which one do you think men are more predisposed to? Avoidance. You know what? Because naturally women like conversation and confrontation, okay? When a man is not confronting a matter, the woman says is keeping malice. No, ma'am. In most cases for men, when I see situation where I'm not comfortable, rather than degenerate to the point where I'm trading words with you, because I know it could lead to us fighting, what most men do is they do what? avoid. It's a conflict resolution style recognized globally, ma'am. The man avoids. The sad part of it is that most men will avoid for as long as they feel the environment is still tense. Sadly speaking. So the man every day in the morning wake up, good morning. Your response, course is not clear. Men, am I talking? So just your response makes the man to feel, oh no, this woman is still. So he continues like that until when he can sense that the coast is clear, then he comes to converse. Unfortunately so, most men are so inclined to that. So what we are doing now is to tell men, please don't stick to that approach. It's my natural way of responding to issues, madam. I told my wife the very moment we got married, before we got married, I proposed to her on the second or so. The next day I told her, I said, please, there's something I don't want. Don't attack me with matters you don't have facts over. I said, my mother does that. I said, and the only way I deal with it is when my mother is tense, I avoid the environment. Because I can't insult my mom. I said, so if you do what my mom did, I will respond the way I respond to my mom. I won't attack you. You will never catch that I insult you. I will avoid it. You understand? So my job then became, if she tries it, I just quietly avoid. But I am of age. I just remember now that I'm 50 something years old. So at this age, there's nothing more to fear in this life. Is that okay? I'm the father of David. My son is a man now. So there's no fear to. So if she talks, she does something now, avoiding hello. Hey, yeah. Come back here. Oh yeah. Let's talk on this matter. You understand that? Because now I've come to realize that there's really nothing for me to be afraid of anymore. Is that okay? And I've come to realize that talking about it doesn't actually result in what most times we are afraid of that makes us avoid conversation. So what I would say to the men who always avoid, talk about it. The most important thing is, if you know at that very moment you are likely going to talk based on how you feel, wait until how you feel goes down and then talk after that. Thank you so much. Can we just pray together? Father, I pray for every marriage here in the name of Jesus Christ. I ask for the grace to do, the grace to become, the grace to achieve everything we've set our hearts on. I pray that where there are divisions and rifts, we pray that you reconcile marriages. Where the devil is at work in any home, Satan, we command you to get lost from this family. In the name of Jesus, I speak peace into your home. I speak prosperity within your borders. In the name of Jesus Christ, it will be an enjoyable place, a marriage that your children will be proud to say, I want my own to look like this. Let it be so. In Jesus' mighty name we pray. Thank you.
Thank you for watching. We hope you were blessed and richly transformed by this sermon. Join us on site and online in any of our centers globally as displayed on the screen.
When we pray, there's a God who hears us. Yeah. When we pray, there's a God to answer. Yeah. When we pray, we prevail, we prosper. 'Cause with a God, all things are possible.
Follow us on all social media handles as shown on the screen. Also, don't forget to join Prophetic Prayer Hour with Rev Sam Oye, weekdays Monday to Friday by 5:50 a.m. West African time. Join on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram at Rev Sam Oye. Please invite your friends and family members, for with our God, all things are possible. For more inquiries, visit www.thetransformingchurch.org. We celebrate you.
I'm intoxicated by the power in that name. That name is more powerful than neutron bomb, more powerful than chemotherapy. That name is more powerful than radiotherapy. I've seen the name work.
One church, making global impact. This is the Transforming Church International. One church, making global impact.